All right, hope everyone is doing well. Have not fans, another Temptation Tuesday is upon us. Weird to say, but in a couple of weeks from now, on the 22nd, it's the week of time is flying by. It's still going to be the week of Christmas when we get to episode 5 of season 8. And I know a lot of us just want to make it to 2021, but you know, time is already flying by fast enough as it is. And I don't know about you, but I'm still dealing with the aftermath of Thanksgiving dinner in terms like the itis and whatnot. But I'm not ready for Christmas yet in terms of the dinner. But I've just been eating Christmas cookies. So all that nonsense aside, go ahead and like the video, hit subscribe, click that bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out when I post content to the channel, and follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. I'm actually glad I waited to do this video because the sneak peek we have for tonight's episode, where Candace is telling Benny how she has come to terms with how she was conceived and she's fine with that. But of course, it was only like a 13-second teaser, so we don't go into the full details of whether or not she wants to get to know Derrick and whatnot. It just seems like she is, I guess you could say, all right with how she was born, and that's about it. So this video is really kind of going off the beginning of last week's episode where Hanna reacts to Derrick's advances, and then he ends up getting arrested for a back warrant for an assault. Now, we still don't know if the assault was, you know, from when he raped Hanna, but we just know that he got arrested on the spot. I got a lot of interesting responses to my tweets and comments about Hanna and how she acted. Now, I saw both sides of the situation, but I think more people were on the side of Hanna, where there's really nothing Derrick can say or do at this point. Like, Hanna doesn't owe him anything, not even a chance for him to explain. I feel conflicted about that only because of the fact that obviously Derrick, and I'm not taking sides here, but I'm trying to explain both stances. So please don't like go after me in the comments. So just please hear me out before you cast judgment. On the Hanna side of things, like the person that raped me or the person that wronged me, obviously, why even give them a chance to explain? It's like, for my sake, I have forgiven them, but that doesn't mean I have to be associated with you at all. And that's completely understandable. So Hanna not wanting to give Derrick the benefit of the doubt in terms of allowing him to explain, you really can't, because he really can't. Yes, he was young, he was high, drunk, whatever the situation was, but that doesn't justify his actions. On the Derrick side, he's been living with that shame and whatnot ever since that day, and he always wanted to make amends. And, well, due to divine intervention, it might seem, he actually got reunited with the woman he actually raped that night. Now, the thing about it is, I feel like the cookie cutter or straight to the point response is Hanna doesn't owe him anything. She was raped. She ended up pregnant. She had to deal with a troublesome child for most of her adult life, because we all know how Candace is, like her father. And what is there to say or do about that? I feel like the simple answer is Hanna was not wrong at all. Here's the complicated part of it. Hanna and Derrick were romantically involved for a week or two. Look, the time frame was not that long, but you know, there was a lot of, they never had sex, so there was a lot of romantic feelings involved. Let's put it that way. So basically, that clearly makes things awkward. That's what makes this conversation super awkward, because of the fact that these two were together without knowing who they were in their past life, so to speak. So I feel like that's why Derrick wants to explain, because there have been like smaller situations, like let's say if you're in a relationship, you make your partner mad because you did something wrong. Maybe you forgot to pick them up. You forgot an anniversary or birthday or something along those lines. And you say, let me explain, and they don't want to hear it. I know what you're thinking, Jeremy. There's no comparison. Derrick raped her. I know, but I'm saying that there's the Derrick of the past and there's the Derrick of the present. It's like he wants to prove he's changed and whatnot, which he did. And I mean, the thing that made me scratch my head about Hanna is like, well, wasn't Hanna last season telling Benny about the whole Benjamin, don't you bother that man, don't you hurt that man anymore, do anything like that? And it's like, look, he's changed, I can tell. But then you go to defense mode when you're alone with him. Now, just because, yeah, I understand that just because Hanna believes that Derrick has changed and all, that doesn't mean that she wants to be with him, see him, talk to him, or anything like that. So I did find it a bit over the top when not only she had the knife, but basically threatened to kill him if they ever interact anymore. And I'm like, that's kind of effed up, I will admit. So in terms of Hanna asking him to go and whatnot, and he didn't leave, yes, I understand her. I feel like there's a lot of PTSD there, more PTSD than anything else, because she didn't want to be defenseless. She didn't want to be alone with him. That's completely understandable. And it was Derrick's fault for not leaving, because if he would have left when Hanna asked, she would have never called the police. He would have never gotten arrested. So I will admit that was pretty much on him. But I just really feel like I can understand where he's coming from. But at the same time, I do feel like Hanna was a bit out of line with the whole death threat thing. But I feel like with the series potentially wrapping up, they're trying to dial things up to 11, especially with Catherine behind bars. So there has to be another badass on the scene. And who better to have that baton than Hanna? So I feel like in terms of what led up to Derrick being arrested, I blame Derrick, because once again, if he had simply left when Hanna asked him to, or better yet, made his presence known when he came in the house, or just said, hey, I'm just here to fix something, that's one thing. That's one thing. But for him to try to approach her and whatnot, and then she pulled out the knife and then he didn't leave, yeah, that stuff, you know, led to him being arrested. And I'm like, yeah, that's on Derrick. But in terms of her like threatening him and everything, I felt like that was way too, you know, that was way too over the top. And that doesn't even account for the fact that what if Candace decides that she wants to get to know her father? How's that dinner party going to look if it's like, hey, Candace, thanks for seeing me, but your mom said she'd kill me, and then your brother basically knocked me to the ground, so I don't think I'm going to be welcomed at any kind of family function. So I think that it would have been interesting if Derrick would have played a key role into my next part of the video about Candace, because like I said at the beginning, you know, the sneak peek revealed Candace has become acceptant of how she was conceived. And I'm thinking maybe Charles or someone at some point might actually talk her into actually talking with her father, getting to know him. And I feel like if she found out how Benny, or specifically Hanna, had treated him, then that could cause a rift in their relationship. Not the whole money bull crap. Remember last season where Hanna went to going from mama to Hanna, all because of that damn money? I'm like, I wish Derrick was the reason those two had a rocky relationship again, because, you know, Hanna and Candace finally made amends. So to actually throw Derrick into the mix to make him the factor that makes Hanna and Candace uneasy about each other again, that would have been better than the whole money bull crap. So I really wish that would have played out more than anything else. So when you look at the situation from that perspective, I imagine that Candace might go see Derrick in jail, assuming he's still in there. I mean, who's to say Veronica or somebody else doesn't get him out? I don't know, but it would be an interesting dynamic, because remember way back in season 2 or 3, I forget which one, but Oscar was the one who talked to Candace to persuade her to go see Quincy in jail. And remember what happened when she did. He basically said, I want to kill you in front of our son. Okay. But in this case, imagine Candace going to jail to visit her father. And I feel like that'll be looking into a mirror, because his fate would almost be pretty much what comes down to her fate, you know, assuming she doesn't get killed off or something. So I feel like things could actually change for the better in terms of the story, where there's going to be some more heart and emotion rather than just, oh, who's going to get shot or who's going to get into a fight. I really want to see these internal conflicts within the families because of the fact that it's really not money. It's more about blood relations. So that's what I hope to see in future episodes. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you think Hanna was over the top? Do you think Derrick got what he deserved because he simply just did not leave when Hanna asked him to the first time? Do you think what do you think Candace is going to do when she finds out about what happened to her father getting arrested? And yeah, do you think Candace could help him get out because of the fact that how would that look if she does decide to be first lady? Oh, your mother, Hanna, well, your father was the man who raped her, and he's currently in jail. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how things play out. Remember, Candace did not graduate law school. She never took the bar exam. So she does have some legal know-how, so she could possibly get him out, or Charles will do it, or Landon. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So as always, I appreciate the love and support on the videos. Make sure you follow me on social media, like I mentioned before. Also, if you'd like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App, or you can join Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.